Okay, guys, so a major family feud erupted just after Mackenzie claimed that she had this 10-year-long sexual relationship with her dad, who, of course, is famed rocker John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas. He died back in 2001. Well, in a brand new interview today, Mackenzie's stepmom, Michelle, cited Mackenzie's longtime drug abuse and problems and called her a liar. Michelle telling this to The Hollywood Reporter, she's had a needle stuck up her arm for 35 years. She was arrested for heroin and coke just recently. She did celebrity rehab, and now she writes a book. The whole thing is timed. Mackenzie is jealous of her siblings who have accomplished a lot and did not become drug addicts. Now, Michelle also told Showbiz Tonight that what Mackenzie did was so hurtful to the family. Jane, the truth is, we may never know for sure what actually happened, but from what you've seen and heard, does it even seem feasible that Michelle Phillips could be right and maybe Mackenzie did make the whole thing up?
AJ, what makes this story so tantalizing is that we don't know whether she's telling the truth or not. As the old saying goes, nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. But I think Michelle makes a very good point. Mackenzie was arrested for alleged drug possession just over a year ago in August of 2008, and those were hard drugs, allegedly. So at the very most, she says she's sober today. She's at best just a little over a year sober, perhaps a lot less than that. This is not the kind of thing that is suggested to do in early sobriety. I'm a person with 14 and a half years of sobriety, and I know in my first couple of years, what I did was I worked on my program almost to the exclusion of everything else to stay sober. They tell you don't get into a heavy-duty relationship in your first year. So certainly don't go on Oprah and say that you had sex with your father. Look at how destabilizing this is. So I think she should be doing this on a shrink's couch.
Destabilizing, and obviously it opens herself up to a whole lot of extra criticism because of the addiction and the abuse that she endured for all those years. Well, in another brand new interview today, Mackenzie went back on TV. This was her very first reaction to Michelle's scathing words. You got to see what she said on the Today Show just this morning.
I'm not here to tell anybody else's story but mine, my experience. We've all experienced our dad in different ways, thank God. And I love my sisters, I love my brothers, I love Michelle. I wish that I had all of their support, but I don't. And that's all right, I understand. This is very difficult. And to be revealed on a public level such as this makes it even more difficult. And my heart goes out to them. And I know that God willing, as a family, we will be stronger when this all dies down.
Well, they can only hope at this point. Obviously, Mackenzie was a lot more prepared for all of this than her family. Leslie, over to you. If Mackenzie did make this up, you got to wonder why.
Well, I would imagine attention. Certainly many people that have been through programs like Jane and have been addicts, whether it's drugs or alcohol, lying definitely does seem to be an MO there. It could be to help sell her book. But I have to say, you know, in my experience as a woman, when I have worked with different groups with victims, whether it be rape or incest, and certainly incest is rape when it's not, you know, a consensual situation, and you know, you have to believe, I believe, you have to believe the victim unless you can prove otherwise. And the reason so many people, especially in incest, and why it's so taboo, are uncomfortable coming forward is because families react this way and because people don't believe them. So if we have to assume that she's telling the truth unless something otherwise is proven.
And again, John Phillips, her father, died in 2001, so obviously won't be hearing from him. Mackenzie's stepmom, not the only member of the family speaking out today. We're hearing it on the other side. Today, Showbiz Tonight got our hands on a brand new interview with Mackenzie's sister. You know China Phillips. Well, China tells Us Weekly that back in 1997, Mackenzie had told her then about the incestuous relationship with her father. China says she was shocked, but she believed it, saying who in their right mind would make up such a claim if it wasn't true. I wish I had been made privy to the information that she was writing this book beforehand. The repercussions of a book like this, they don't just affect Mackenzie. And in some late-breaking news today, the Oprah Winfrey Show just told Showbiz Tonight late this afternoon, both China and Mackenzie will be appearing together on the Oprah Winfrey Show Friday. That should be quite a firestorm there. Jane, whether or not the claims are true, does the family just have every right to be furious she's speaking out like this?
Well, these claims are kind of like taking a hand grenade and throwing it into a family situation situation and watching the entire family explode. Obviously, it's very polarizing, and there are differences of opinion even within the family. I myself have a tendency to go back and forth on this one. One soundbite, I think maybe she's telling the truth. The next soundbite, I say maybe she's not telling the truth. But the fact is that there are so many factors that could come into play in this situation. Michelle says, for example, that Mackenzie is jealous of China because China has achieved success on her own as a singer with Wilson Phillips. So is there jealousy here? Is there a need in these celebrity families where everybody seems to be famous to stand out some way, even if it's not by accomplishing anything, even if it's by this sort of confessional? So it's really a very nuanced, complex situation, and I think they should all go into family therapy and work this out behind closed doors.
Wouldn't that be something? Well, in more big news breaking today, I got to get to, of all people, Oprah now coming under fire by a lot of people, including Mackenzie's stepmom, Michelle Phillips, for giving Mackenzie the stage to reveal her incest claims. Listen to what she told The Hollywood Reporter. John was a bad parent and a drug addict, but blanking his daughter, if she thinks it's true, why isn't she with a good psychiatrist on a couch? I think it's unconscionable that Oprah would let her do her show. I have every reason to believe it's untrue. Oprah should be more judicious about who she has on her show. All right, I get that she's mad at Mackenzie, but Leslie, is that ridiculous that Oprah got dragged into all this, or does she have a point?
Well, I don't think Michelle has a point with Oprah. I think we all agree. Jane, I agree with you. Psychiatrist couch, and you don't first put it out there in the public. You sit down with the family, you say, listen, I'm writing a book. This is what it's about. I'm going to be on Oprah and say this. But attacking Oprah, she's a talk show host. It's her job to get ratings, and she does that very well. And to have people come on and to divulge some very deep, dark secrets, which is what Mackenzie did. And Oprah's a place where you want to promote a book, and that's what Mackenzie was doing as well.
Yeah, and then the debate continues, and people get to decide for themselves. Even if Mackenzie may have made all this stuff up, what do you think, Jane? Quickly, could all of the attention she brought to incest actually turn out to be a good thing?
Absolutely, because we're only as sick as our secrets. Let's get it out in the open. This is the final taboo. It's something society needs to talk about. Unfortunately, it does happen a lot, and we do need to talk about it.
Well, I appreciate you being here to talk about it tonight. Leslie Marshall, Jane Valez-Mitchell, thanks so much.
Thank you.